Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for Thursday, the 28th of May. Right, as we come into the Asian session, it was a pretty wild sort of European and North American session there. Now, a lot of traders, just looking at the sort of analysis from the day before, I'm still looking for these currencies to shoot to the top side and the dollar index or the dollar itself to come off. Now, there's no change here. Now, I only had one order on yesterday, and it was above this resistance line in sterling. Okay, Aussie had already sort of broken higher, so had Kiwi. Euro was dancing around the that trend line there around 109, sort of 70, 80, and dollar CAD sort of in the middle of nowhere, and dollar yen trading sideways. Now, the key thing, this is the hardest part, right? When you see the currencies take off, you want to get into the trade. So to me, buying a pullback was, the smart thing to be doing, and looking for that opportunity, or just look for the pair that hasn't actually broken yet. And that's where you can get into the trade on sterling. So sterling trade to me was either going to get triggered and make money, or it wasn't going to get triggered. Now, if you look at the trend lines, right, back to support, the trend lines on sterling, I mean, all these pairs is perfect. Okay, so what you could do is, the first level of support is that old resistance line. But really, support is here. Like the solid support level is still sitting there. And it's held on three major pairs, right? The dollar yen, I discount that. It's just all over the place. I left those trend lines there just to show you the wild price action. Now, euro, this was mean, right? If you were trading euro yesterday, I'd say everyone got hammered because it's the price action. Even, let me just clear the table there, the chart. Okay, so the price action around this trend line was inconclusive, right? Lacked momentum, the barroom brawl just banging away. It finally sort of breaks down. So you see it drifting lower. I mean, for all money there, you'd be thinking, well, yeah, short euro is the way to go. And then all of a sudden, actually, let me just blow that chart up. It's a good example of carnage. Okay, so it sort of slowly comes up, retests, going back through, drops. Now, this is where all the mayhem starts, shoots up. So if you got onto the trade, got long, look at the move back down here to 109.55. That's a complete flush out. This is one of those situations where everyone who gets involved on that trade, okay, with any sort of sensible risk management, would be flushed out. And I can sort of see that yesterday because of the price action around the trend line. It was a little bit nasty, right? Where everything else just clean snapped through the trend lines, right? Sterling, Aussie, Kiwi, they were clean. So there was something wrong with euro to start with. That put me off it. Now, I've still got this trade to get into sterling above these levels. So what do I think from here? Well, it's quite interesting, right? I think these things are all still going as to plan. I think they all still go topside, okay? Except, right, and this is the big exception, if these trend lines break, okay, then it's all over, right? Then this topside move that I think I can see the dollar, pulling back a couple of 100 points, it will be done, and that'll be it. Now, keep an eye on oil as well. It's dropped a couple of bucks, but as we move closer towards the end of those futures contracts needed to be delivered. Now, a number of our traders have been sort of signaling there is no storage available, so we could see a price action very similar to the last month where the futures price went to minus $40. So just keep an eye on oil. I don't know what will happen is the banks and liquidity providers will protect themselves against that. So don't think you're going to get the price at minus 40, but if it does go that way, then oil should sort of drift off, and that's where we are. So really, if you're looking at your charts, the smartest thing to do is just delete the trend lines that are no longer relevant to you. Okay, I'd even delete that euro one. You're probably looking at levels like this. Delete your charts. I mean, dollar yen is, just leave that as it is. So once you delete all those trend lines that are irrelevant, it makes the equation simpler. Aussie's going up, Kiwi's going up, well, euro's going up in a weird fashion, so just be careful of that. And sterling, it's trading sideways at the moment, but if it breaks that trend line, it will be going up clearly. Now, this makes it easier for your trade plan, okay? If it goes down below these trend lines, right, well, you know what? If you are long, make sure you're out. Or if you haven't got a position, it could be a good level to get short these trades as the whole potential move is flushed out, right? You need to sort of understand that as you trade through the course of your week. Now, just having a look at the dollar index, right? There's not a hell of a lot going on. Check out that loose price action. And that's obviously, the euro is 58% of the basket. So you know what? If euro is jumping up and down, so is the dollar index. You're seeing the dollar move against the yuan. And that could be, to do with the US putting more pressure on China. The major currency pairs here at the moment, all the dollar pairs, except for dollar yen's out of it, right? Just don't worry about dollar yen. The other pairs are sort of moving down. The other pairs moving up. Equities, another good day on the equity market. So to me, what do we do from here? Well, just you got to wait for the opportunity. And this is the hardest part, right? Usually we're looking at the core fundamental data that is rolled out week in, week out. But now what we're doing is a lot of the activity is coming across from geopolitical news, and this makes it extremely hard to work out where that momentum is really going to trigger from. So make sure you're protecting yourself. Once again, small trade size, give your trade some room. We could have potential big moves here. You know what? And if the top side moves don't work out now, we've got great levels to get into the downside move. Now, if you're losing money, don't chase the market. You've had your crack. Wait for the next big build up. All right. It's what we see far too often is traders, see an opportunity. They jump in, not with one trade, but with 5 trades. They get hammered on all of them and they blow up their account. That's the last thing you want to do. All right, guys, it's a interesting market. So I'm sort of pretty pumped. Still looking for the top side move here, especially after these big pullbacks have flushed out a lot of the weak positions. And when I say weak positions, the positions with very small stop losses, they've all been flushed. It gives the top side another chance to go here on the other pairs. The dollar, US dollar, I'm still thinking it goes lower unless we see some crazy explosion of coronavirus infections as the rollbacks, as the lockdowns are rolled back. But I don't see that happening at the moment. All right, guys, have a good trade day. Cheerio.